Hi, folks. This is my man coming to you from parts unknown. Boy, I'll tell you what, it would be headline news if Trump ever cut a deal for 43,000 people for 5 years. Don't have to come to work and they get their full pay, benefits, and everything like that. The media would go absolutely ape, but they don't report a thing on it. Trump disclosed that about Biden. And no, they don't bat a damn eye. And don't even mention it. It's called news distortion, propaganda. So we're going to see which way this ball bounces. And boy, it is a blizzard of stuff coming at him. It's at warp speed. And, did you ever see somebody that was good at something like play ball, basketball, or boxing? They're really good at it, and they act like they're hardly putting out any effort. Before you know it, they're sinking basket after basket or popping you in the face 10 or 12 times, and they're acting like they're just, taking it easy. That's what I used to call a pro. A pro is somebody who can make something difficult look easy. And that's the way Mr. Trump is going. A lot of people say his personality changed since the assassination, but attempts. I think he's always been, when he's in charge, okay, he knows how to behave. He knows how to handle it. He knows how to be a leader. He's confident. And yes, the graze with the bullet, I'm sure, gave him a lot of introspection, but they're going to get it. They're going to get it. I think it erased all doubts about making sure this never happens again, doing everything possible to cement this victory and making sure that it never happens again. Yes, Wayne said, give me a thumbs up. Please don't forget as you come in to give me a thumbs up. How you doing, Wayne? Sissy's here. Gloria. Cliff. If you want to go out and give me a thumbs up, I'll be right here when you get back. Hi, Debbie. KNS Cleanup. Benjamin. Pappy Two Bears. Exciting times, yes. On my thumbnail, I put a thumbnail up to Troll Midas Trash Network. Because every time Judge Mercan, Judge Engoron, Judge blah, 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 Judge Kaplan, all these losers, now this goofball McDonald or McConnell or whatever the hell his name is, they always put in their thumbnail, so ordered, Trump is losing his mind, federal court orders, and 560,000 views in 3 hours. Yeah, let's find out which one of that bunch has been backed up by U.S. AIDS or some other NGO financing. I was talking about that guy Vosh last night. Night before last, that he was talking about making it legal. There's some way to make it legal to have underage pornography, right? If I'm saying that right, and putting up pro-Hamas videos, or as some people want to get down with the accents, Hamas videos. But anyway, guess who his uncle is? I'm gonna ask that question when we get some more people in the chats. I don't have any entrance, or what do they call that? I don't know what they call it. They call it something that people play before a live stream, give people time to get in. I just get up and babble. I guess they call it an intro. I don't have. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Cliff's here. Debbie's here. Nice to see you. Rebecca. Yeah, she said, give me a thumbs up too. You got a whole bunch of people saying, give me a thumbs up. And it works after the live stream. The thumbs up button works after the live stream. So please make sure you give me a live stream. A thumbs up on my live stream. And if you're listening after the show, which I appreciate everybody who tunes in. But anyway, Justin Bean, how you doing? Nice to see you. So anyway, I want to find out about that guy and a great many others. How many of these people on YouTube that get blasted out there and have this message that is counterculture or down with the wackadoodles? They get so many views and they get so much money, like that feminine frisbee or whatever her name. I'll find out what her show was, getting $400 to some $1,000 in 2 years, I believe, and only did like $600 in merchandise and advertising revenue. What the hell's going on here? But the sad thing about it, it's our money. It's our money. Excuse me, I'll have a sip of my coffee. Oh, speaking of coffee, I appreciate everybody's going to buy me a coffee. Mike and Bev, and this week was Miss Mendersue and Gary from. He comes in usually with a ha-ha. Anyway, let me have another sip of my coffee. Yeah, we got to keep the ha-has going. So anyway, hi, Miss Mendersue. Nice to see you. I just thanked you for helping out this week. And anyway, so I've got my thumbnail up, trolling Midas Trash Network for their thumbnails. Every time some on the TAKE judge enters some dumb, dopey ruling, they're like, oh, a federal judge, a federal court ruled that Trump is a rapist. A federal court ruled that Donald Trump is a felon. 65 times. Oh, no, 30. Well, 4 times a felon. All excited. We got him this time, a federal judge. Well, you morons, a federal judge ordered that Trump can do his buyouts, can do his terminations, send out his notices, either get the hell out and take the money. I'll give you an offer. You can't be too stupid to refuse. But as arrogant as they are, and as stupidly as they performed, a lot of them are going to ride that lightning bolt right down into the ground. And that's fine too. We'll just fire them down the road, dead weight, get the hell out of here. And I put on there with Trump, buy out, as in goodbye and get out. That's the buyout if you don't take the deal. So anyway, a big center finger to the Midas Trash crowd. Or two, I give them 2 big center fingers, if you know what I mean. And I'll stick my tongue out. 2 center fingers. So anyway, Tammy, how you doing? I said, let me get my spectacles on. Here we go. Yeah, Tammy, how you doing? Hi, Todd. Sissy. I'm just in a good mood because I saw that headline right before. Hi, Jason. Jason, I heard there was somebody involved, either a jerk trying to stay in his position, or a judge or a attorney representing these misfits, malcontents, and miscreants by the name of Engelmeyer. And I can't, does any of you all remember? We're going back in the archives. Remember when I said Danny Kaye was in a movie called The Inspector General, and it was a musical. And I was saying that, throughout history, I mean, hundreds of years, people heard about the inspector general. They got nervous. In the movie, he's misidentified as the inspector general, and everybody's going, "Oh, yes, sir. Please sit down. Can I get you something to drink?" And he's like, he's just a walking minstrel or something, and makes the best of everybody kissing up to him. But anyway, I was sitting there thinking, is that the movie where Danny Kaye sang that song, is it John Jacob Bingelmeyer Schmidt? Is that the same? I meant to look that up. So I saw your name, Jason. When I was thinking of this Engelmeyer, does that ring a bell with you all? John Jacob, is it John Jacob or John Jason Engelmeyer Schmidt? So anyway, I don't know if you can look it up and see what the lyrics are, but it is funny. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Darla. So let's see. I'm missing my Marie's here. Nice to see you. Rubber toe. So we got a good crowd, and I want to ask again. This guy named Vaush, and his last name is Piker, and I can remember that because there's an old saying, "Make him look like a piker," which is not a very complimentary thing to be called, a piker. So his name is Wash Piker, and he is the biggest live streamer, influencer on all of the social medias. I think everybody except me streams on Twitch, which is just a garbage pail. It's just full of garbage. Filth and stuff, and their target audience, of course, is kids, and nobody does a damn thing about it. Everybody on there's got a filthy mouth, putting forth radical stuff. One streaming service I use, right when Kick came out, boom, they had where you could log on there and multi-stream with Utizzle, no problem. You could see all the chats. Twitch, you could do the same thing. All these oddball, weirdo things, none of them let you go on Rumble, okay? Where you got to do a separate studio to set up to go on Rumble. And we all know why that is. But anyway, my question was, hi, Hilarious, how you doing? My question was, guess who Vosh's uncle is? No, it was Danny Thomas. He might have been in a movie too. I don't know, but it was. I just said his name. Redhead, carrot top. Oh gosh, I can't remember that. No, it's. I just said his name. Danny Kaye, right? Benjamin. Danny Kaye did not mess with little ones. He drank too much. He died young. Everybody says everybody messes with little kids. He wasn't a favorite in Hollywood. That tells you he didn't. Anyway, so guess who his uncle is? Vaush Piker. This character who actually visited a brothel in Germany where the Germs live. No, it might have been in Stockholm or somewhere like that. And that brothel later got busted for having meaners, selling them out. And this same guy, Vosh, okay, Clem Cadiddlehopper Red Skelton did the character Clem Cadiddlehopper. I'm just looking, Danny. I don't know what Danny Thomas has to do. Danny Thomas or Red Skelton have to do with the movie Inspector General. Danny Thomas starred in it. Maybe Danny Kaye starred in it. I mean, Danny Kaye was early version of Dick Van Dyke as far as doing movies that were lighthearted, mostly very G-rated, and musicals and stories, kind of like Dick Van Dyke did Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and all that stuff. Well, I'm not off topic. We got off topic. Oh, okay. Talking about something different. Hi, Judy. How you doing? So guess who is this character's uncle? Guess who his uncle is? You all won't believe it. Is also somebody who is famous and does YouTubes and goes on MSNBC. I said he got money from a questionable source. Oh my God, Melvita, I'm sorry to hear that. That's awful. Your brother-in-law, yes. Hi, Robin, nice to see you. Yeah, Melvita, our prayers are with you and your family. What a horrible thing. So, anyway, I'm trying to like with Midas Trash Network. This guy named Vaush, they get hundreds of thousands of views, and Kyle Kalinske right now, their talking point is that Elon Musk has illegally hacked the system and gotten everybody's private data, and which is ridiculous, idiotic. There's so many people who are authorized to get into systems that show a person's information. You got to give all that stuff to Amazon and whatever to be able to function on the site, so they can make sure you are you. You have passwords and everything like that, and that's all kept on company databases. Never mind the government. It's a damn talking point. So, hi, Flannel Cheese. How you doing? So anyway, I don't see any guesses as to who his uncle is. This guy's notorious. And the day after they announced USAID cutbacks, he started crying and e-begging on all these, telling everybody you can will help me with PayPal, you can help me here, you can help me. And he never used to do that. He would just automatically get hundreds of thousands of views just sitting there playing videos of Hamas. He said America deserved 9/11. America deserved 9/11, according to him. And that Bobbies, B-A-B and an I-E-S, were legitimate targets because they were settlers too. Well, that's a good guess, sissy. But okay, I'll just go real quick with the music and see if everybody gets who this Vosh Piker, the Hamas supporter, who his uncle is. Dun, 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 boom, boom. Hi, Bristol. No, it isn't a gay guy. Gay guy on CNN. Let's see if anybody gets it. No, it's Stink Uger. Stink Uger. Well, people call him Chunk, Chink, or whatever. Hi, Sherry. How the HE double hockey sticks could patent Sajak have anything to do with a Hamas supporter for Turkish? That's what Stink Uger is from the Young Turks. And I said that they got $2 million, is what I heard, from Qatar to launch their channel, and they've been bashing Trump for years. That's his uncle. They're, like I told you, they're all like worms in a clump of dirt, but they're getting their funds cut off. They're getting their funds cut off. So Trump is following up the victory of getting the hostage back. He got off the plane and kissed the ground. He came to the White House talking about how grateful he was for Trump. He said, confidence oozes out of this man's body. I stand next to him. I can feel it wash over me. I'm so happy and thankful for the American people voting this man in office. Would you ever see anybody say that about Biden? And like Trump said, all the time, Biden's been in office 4 years. He said it took me 2 weeks. Well, I mean, how much has gone by? Because they're still doing your eggs and bacon are still expensive. He's only been in, 23, 24 days? What the hell is wrong with these people? Talk about news distortion. So anyway, seems like you're welcome, Melvita. Hi, Angel. Yeah, that young Turk, Jessen Bean. Stink Uger. So he's trying, old Stink is trying to get on normal shows, relatively normal. What's the English guy's name? You know who I'm talking about. And try to talk middle of the road, because his money's going to be running out too. And a lot of their money's going to be running out. Disney announced they're getting away from the DEI. Marvel Studios, all this different sites are getting away from DEI. They're launching a boycott on Walmart, McDonald's, and something else, a bunch of other things, because they all put out corporate statements. We're getting away from DEI. Oh, we're going to boycott you. Listen, especially after this government cutting off the spigot to deadbeats. Even with that, y'all don't buy anything anyway. You're all a bunch of deadbeats and ne'er-do-wells. You're not a good customer anyway. Who cares? Stay out. Thank you. And I haven't gone to McDonald's in years, but I know for a fact the quarter pounder is 100% beef. The rest of it, I don't know. I don't know if they put soy in there or whatever. But I might go in there and buy me a couple of quarter pounders just to support, and go to Walmart and buy something else besides big jugs of peanut butter and big cans of oatmeal. Like I say, go in there to buy lost leaders. But anyway, Since they're boycotting them, I'm going to go support them. So, yeah, good. But you never should have done it anyway. I'll tell you, a place I'll never set in is Target. That's French for Target. I'll never go in there because they have been scum since they opened. And Costco, okay, I know who backs them too. They can go somewhere. But anyway, Tulsi Gabbard got confirmed and sworn in today by Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi got my hopes up and had me sit up and pop my eyeballs open. She said I filed charges. Well, it turns out to be civil charges against Hochul and Fat ASS Tish. Okay, so but during the press conference, she said, I don't want to sue people. I don't want to lock people up. Giving them a little hint that lockups can be coming. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? So, okay, we got Tulsi Gabbard in. There was a nice photograph came out of the White House with Mr. T there while she was being sworn in by Pam Bondi. Right underneath a really nice portrait that's in the Oval Office now of Ronald Wilson Reagan. Hi, Island Girl. Nice to see you. How you doing? So anyway, I was hoping we could see a perp walk, but I think a perp walk is coming. So anyway, we got this dopey judge, McConnell. Isn't that funny? Got the same name as Mitch. And Mitch is the only Republican who didn't vote for Tulsi. They wheeled him in a wheelchair. You know, I don't wish that on anybody. But we could all see he was getting a little shaky, you know. So anyway, Trump is bringing up these court hearings, and he's throwing cold water on the crap that he is they're in a constitutional crisis. Trump is going to violate the courts. And as I've said before, there's federal district judges all over hell's half acre. There's 1,000 of them, I believe. Maybe a little over, a little under. And so this judge shopping, all they're doing is sticking their head up out of the foxhole. And it's like, oh, there's one we need to check. Oh, there's another one. Why would you make such an idiotic ruling against the black letter of the law, against fundamental separation of powers that you're supposed to know after the 8th grade? But that brings us back to the horrible education system and the places like Harvard. That's the way you say it, Harvard and Columbia and on it goes, that have these Marxist leanings and teach cultish crap like climate change, transgenderism, and all. How the hell are you supposed to get a good education or understand what's going on in the world when that kind of crap is getting you pumped in your head? And then they hand a bill out for $100,000, $150,000 frickin' dollars because it's all being backed by the federal government. But anyway, that's all going to come to a stop. This judge that started the ball rolling really stepped in it. I mean, he made an idiot of himself, and he made this ruling basically saying Trump couldn't do anything unless they ran past him for his approval. Like he could tell the president of the United States what to do in the executive branch. You idiot. So the appeals court sent it back to him and said, the way Robert Gavoy was putting it, said, surely you don't mean this certain thing, and surely you don't mean that certain thing. So he rewrites his order and makes it even dumber by removing a sentence that said Trump's enjoined from doing anything unless it's already established by a rule or a process that's already been established. He forgot to put that sentence in and puts his order back out. Well, up to the appeals court it goes again. And they say, take another look at it. Surely you don't mean this. And his response was, who surely? I mean, he didn't do that, but he's that stupid. So what he does is he writes a third order, writing things in italics, which is just like typing in caps, about something you want to shout out or emphasize, and basically backtracked that no, they don't have to approve everything through him. And yes, I did say that you have to stay within established laws and blah, blah, whatever. And Trump is doing that anyway. Trump is, if he can't do it one way, he's got another way. You can stop payments on things for incompetence. You can stop payment on things for fraud. That's all in statutes. You can stop payment on things that are waste. Okay? His discretion, things that affect national security, things that don't reflect the goals of the current administration, things that affect foreign policy, which falls on exclusively under the executive branch, unless there needs to be a treaty ratified by the Senate, which is 11.4 treaties of the United States. But anyway, we've been over that. So anyway, he made a complete idiot out of himself. He had to write the same order over 3 different times. If we had a news agencies worth a rat's behind, he would be humiliated and this stuff would be pointed out. But we don't. We have people that manipulate the news and distort the news. Speaking of which, CBS is looking at their, they got 2 things going on. They got a complaint with the FCC for distortion of news, which could cost them their license, a huge fine, or a suspension, or both, or all 3. Suspended forever, lose your license, and pay a big fine. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. Something's going to happen. They're not going to get away with it. I forget who Trump put in charge of the FCC, but we have been abused so much. There's going to be a cumulative smack in the face that they're going to get. I mean, no getting out of it. But there's a company that wants to buy them. What is that called? Skyview, I think it is the name of the company, is working on buying CBS. Have you all heard about that? Well, this is a relative of the character that started Oracle. So here we got these tech guys, Bill Gates, this Oracle character, LinkedIn bonehead, Schmuckerberg, all these characters are getting involved. Jeff Bezos in news organizations. So anyway, that deal is on hold, because why would they want to buy CBS if they're going to lose their broadcast license? They didn't pay anything for the damn thing. They should be. It's like Trump said, why do they get a free license? So they say it's valued, CBS is valued at about $6 billion. I don't know how the hell you come up with that. But yeah, 6 billion. But wait a minute. Trump's suing him. He was suing him for 10 billion. That's an active lawsuit. And CBS just lost a motion to dismiss it. And it's going to go to depositions. A big loss for them, just like Disney had when they lost their motion to dismiss or demur or whatever they want to call it against that Gina Carraro brought up against them. So anyway, they released the Under Pressure. They released the Kamala tapes. Okay, yes, I think that Ukraine and the USA, both with Russia, all sides have to they released those tapes, and the Trump team upped the lawsuit to 20 billion. 20 billion. They just did that the other day. So, I had a friend, I think I mentioned it one time. He had lumber companies franchised out in like 4 different counties, and a couple of stores came up near the other. He was expanding into other counties. They went up for foreclosure. So he bought the businesses and the land, everything. Very good friend of mine. And turned out to be a monumental problem. And because he bought not only the real estate and the franchises and the inventory, he also bought all the debt and the lawsuits that he was unaware of. He didn't check it out enough. He bought it, what they say, lock, stock, and barrel. So he had to take the company, warts and all. He lost literally millions. And but he still carried on and went through what they call getting a haircut. Got a haircut, financial haircut. After about 10 years, he turned that ship around, eight years, and became very successful. So you can pull yourself out of it, but that's a heck of a lot different than buying a company worth $6 billion if it's looking at like it might lose $20 billion in a lawsuit, plus in a civil complaint to a federal agency, lose their broadcast license. So all that stuff is up in the air, and I think it's great. Plus, what else are they losing income on? I suspect USAIDs. They're not going to get any money. And these NGOs are going to be under some very heavy scrutiny because there's a special place for Georgie Porgy Soriosio, don't you know? So I saw somebody on one of these news organizations, so-called news organizations, on MSNBC saying, I don't know where Donald Trump thinks any reputation he has is worth 20 billion. These are the same idiots that got up in seal clap for Alex Jones to get skinned alive financially over that Sandy, and then the other word is hook business. Even though before that lawsuit, they all said, he's a nut. Nobody listens to him. He's a fringe broadcaster. Just nobody pays attention to him anyway. And if you hear anything he's got to say, don't pay any attention to it. For years. But when he goes to trial, Oh, he has so much influence and he damaged these people so badly. He's got to pay them billions. We don't want him ever to earn a living again, which is not lawful. You can't have excessive fines. You can't put a person naked out in the street with nothing to eat. But they would if they could. But anyway, so now it's CBS's turn. And who else's turn is it going to be? I remember talking about, and you can look it up, you can just type in the word class action in the 17th letter. And you'll see a post that says, class action lawsuits are very powerful. So Trump is getting redress for distorted news that adversely affected him, his reputation, the election. And what about us? What about the J and then 6 people? Every flipping press conference, they bring up, except maybe this one we had with Elon today, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. They bring up J6. Why do you do blanket pardons against hundreds of people that brutally beat police officers? Poor Caroline Levitt today, she said they were talking about another subject. This money that Trump is holding back is causing babies to lose their lives and for medicines to, she said, say specific things. Don't do these umbrella statements. And you can't bring up, say what the organization is, say who the people is and where they are, just a specific case. Well, I think they need to do the same thing because they're doing blanket libel, blanket slander. Anybody that was involved with J-6 is going, even if they just walked in with a Slurpee because of somebody dressed like a cop or a real cop, say, hey, come on in. Yeah, come on in. Walked within the ropes, looked around, behaved themselves. The media is branding them as violent people that tried to overthrow their government. One time you have a conservative show up en masse. Not a weapon, not one GUN. And but they're all being painted out the way they're being painted out. It's damaging them. So I would like to see a class action lawsuit for not just that drumbeat of misrepresentation and distortion of the news. I'd like to see it for a great many other things. Would you say? I certainly say. So anyway, Congress can get away with stuff. It's called the debate clause. If they're on the House, the floor of the House or the Senate, they can say damn near anything they want and get away with it. You can't sue them or charge them. Unless I think there's an exception for personal attacks on each other. Of course, they want to protect each other. And for anything that falls under the generally accepted, I can't think of the name of it. There's a name attached to it for incitement. Generally accepted rule for imminent call to violence. They can't do that. But anything else they can. But when they're not on the floor of the Senate, when they're standing out on the street corner, like Maxine Waters, Elon Musk, you get your ass out here, and we gonna do this. You're nothing but a crook and a criminal. A crook and a criminal. Saying that publicly about Elon Musk. How would Nancy Waters look with a big old fat lawsuit in her hands, have to show up to court? I know she's got her millions, just like Elon said during this press conference. Isn't it curious, he said, curious, how people with a six-figure salary or a couple $100,000 salary has all these millions? And he said, we're going to take a look at that. Audits. And in the 17th letter, they said, wouldn't it be good to have audits of senators, congresspeople, high-level officials, and their family members? I think that's what he was saying is going to happen. Well, it'll be public, because we've seen the memes, or maybe many of you have, many of you haven't, where they're showing a bunch of crazy liberals saying, "Show us your tax returns," and Trump says, "Okay," and then below that it's like, "You're going to audit us, you NAZIs," calling us names when we want to see their business. So it's coming. It's coming. So I think we need to see some legal action being taken against the media groups, members of Congress who are not on the floor of the House or Senate, these so-called influencers that many of names I've mentioned, especially those with law degrees, who are distorting and misrepresenting and either knowingly putting out bad descriptions of the law, or they're morons. Either way, they don't qualify to retain their license, in my opinion. They represent the profession. And boy, I hope it was worth the money you're getting from whoever in the hell you're getting it from. Whether it's USAID, Qatar, Georgie Porgy Soriosio. And I hope you feel good every time one of your little stooges kick out one of my broadcasts, or many other people that have been calling you out over the years, getting their channel suspended and taken down. They're behind it, or at least would if they could. So anyway, it's hey, people say, man, it's going to be 4 years of this. On the one hand, you could say, yeah, that's great. 4 years. Wow. But I'm saying to myself, we only got 48 months. Oh, I take that back. 47 and a quarter months, roughly, or 47 and a half months. We don't have a lot of time. We have to keep moving at warp speed. We have to keep putting things out like blizzards. And we have to keep communicating and talking about it so we have it in the top of our head in case we come across a friend or a loved one who doesn't have their head and their ass wired right. And we can tell them in a civil, informed manner what the hell's going on. What more do they need? Trump has been in office for about tomorrow will be 25 days. maybe 24. I don't know exactly. The food prices are crazy. Nobody can afford to buy a new car. The new cars that you get are junk. House prices are through the roof. Your real estate tax bills are strangle you. The hamster wheel is going too fast. People can't keep up. It's collapsing. It costs 2 cents to make a penny. Wake the hell up. We've got other countries in the EU were demanding U.S. troops to help out with this dopey Ukraine situation. Proof is pouring out that we've been getting stolen from by the billions. Ongoing criminal activity that is crippling our economy and destroying our monetary system. That our kids are being led down a psychotic, dysphoric path. Oh, Trump, he's been in there for 24 days. He's trying to keep the whole shebang from going over the damn cliff. I saw one poll that said 83% of the people, 83, thought that what was going on with the busting the government's backside was a good thing. So that leaves 17%. We're getting to the point where there's enough awareness to go ahead and start cracking ass. But we only got 47 and a half months. So we've got to, instead of speaking in generalities or over the top talk about fantastic things that the pills got to be easy enough for people to swallow. We're talking about, like Trump did, he trimmed it down. Instead of saying waste, fraud, and abuse, he's saying, you notice I'm leaving a word out. I'm talking about fraud and abuse. Never mind the waste. That just goes without saying. Fraud and abuse, they're the big things. Is rampant, purposeful. And incompetence. He threw that out there. He threw that out there because you don't want to be nailed for fraud. You don't want to be nailed for abuse. But if you've been involved or knowingly allowed something that's already done, and there's emails and any path leads to you, you would much rather be called incompetent than a crook, right? Why am I bringing that up? Because that's when birds sing. If I tell you everything you need to know, and I didn't really realize it. I'm not the brightest bulb in the closet. And I'll take the buyout and I'll see you later. And I will help you track down the people that really were smart and knew what they were doing. I'm just a dummy, a dumb dummy. Remember I said that? A friend of mine told me many years ago, nobody bothers a dummy, Junior. Dummy up. Act like a dummy. And so a lot of people are going to act like dummies. And they're going to sing. And Top Banana He's going to be looking at the bottom of the bunch. And, you know, how many of them are going to turn on me? All of them are going to turn on you. All right. We're going to get top bananas. Yeah. Well, they said that so many people showed up in D.C. that had never been in flipping D.C. The buildings didn't have enough parking. They had to go find some place outside of their work area and walk to the building, and then have to get directions. Where's my office supposed to be? I've never been here. That's the truth. They had the biggest influx of vehicles into DC than they've ever had. People showing up to work, because Trump said you either show up or you do the buyout. And if you don't show up, your ass is fired. Well, a bunch of them showed up. They didn't even have thousands of cars they didn't have parking for. People that didn't even know where their damn building was. Report to who? Nobody's got a flipping boss. And it's been going on for decades. But, you know, what was one of the things Trump said was funny. They were talking about the straws. You know, him getting rid of plastic straws, paper straws. And I said, well, what about the wildlife? And Trump said, you know, a shark chomping its way through the sea isn't going to worry about a straw. What I'd like for him to brought up 10 billion masks washing down a gutter and thrown off a barge and a garbage barge. I'm not kidding. Billions of masks. What the hell's a straw got? Don't worry. The turtles and the fish could just keep a mask on and it'll keep the straws out of their nose. Remember, they kept showing the same turtle getting a straw pulled out of its nose for years. A YouTube video with 4 million views. Oh my God, look at that poor turtle getting a straw pulled out of its nose. Same flipping turtle. It's like sitting there watching a house float by, washed away in North Carolina, saying, hey, look at that house there. It's got water-saving faucets inside of it. Yep. We made sure during their building code, all those were there floating away. Yeah, it's got water-saving faucets. These people are insane. They dream up crap to justify their existence. They make a career out of things. A friend of mine was looking at a local bridge being built. The state decided to get involved in a little town matter. A bridge about, I don't know, 20 feet long, maybe 25 feet long, and 2 car widths wide. Built in the 1930s. Well, they decided to replace it. They put that bridge up almost 100 years ago. Probably had it done in 2 weeks. People drive back and forth for 100 flipping frickin' years. Oh, all right, we're going to put a bridge up now. You see brand new, top of the line, earth moving equipment, vehicles with the yellow lights on them, and flags and signs and road closed, detour, daddy, doo-doo, all this crap. A half a year later, 6 months later, dee-doo, bop-bop, detour, yellow lights. They're still out there with a shovel handle under their chin, you know, looking at the hole in the ground. They're trying to get from one end to the other with a damn bridge. They make a flipping career out of it. So, the government can't do squat. The government is dishonest. God knows what that bridge costs. God knows who made what. And that's just one little podunk town. One little podunk town. Well, did you hear about this guy in Illinois got convicted today? What was his name? Illinois Speaker of the House got convicted. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, one of the things he did was no-show jobs. Well, I think it was ABC put out a thing, culture of corruption in arrears its head again or something like that. I know what they're referring to. I'm willing to bet they're referring to Rob Blagojevich, who Trump just pardoned. And Rob Blagojevich got in trouble for saying Obama, his seat was a big effing deal in a gold mine. What did he get, 15 years? He didn't steal anything. He didn't give no-show jobs out. But Trump pardoned him, so maybe you should take it easy on this old coot. His name is Madigan. They call it a culture of corruption. Let me see some of the stuff he did. Ha ha, there's an article about Trump's buyout offer. Ha ha. Oh, here's something else. Thieves stole checks totaling more than $24 million. Did y'all hear about that? Thieves stole checks totaling more than $24 million. Guess where they stole it from? Guess where they stole it from? These, quote, thieves. 24 million. Who's here? I haven't seen. Hi, Angel. Nice to see you. We got two angels. Michelle, nice to see you. Tennessee. Ha ha. All right. Okay. And no guesses? Where somebody stole $24 million in checks? I'm sure it'll shock you. It'll shock you all. Anybody up for a guess? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Jess and Bean got it. Before I even got to go, dun, 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 dun. Ha ha, Roland said Congress. No, that's 24 billion. U.S. Post Office. That was on, who reported that? Fox 5, New York, on UTISL, on their community page. USPS employee sentenced to prison after stealing 24 million worth of checks. They said in the singular, employee, but up top they said the thieves in the plural. So that is going to be interesting. Ex-Speaker Mike Madigan takes no questions after being convicted on 10 counts. He was acquitted on 7 others. Oh, he was acquitted on 7, deadlocked on 6, convicted of 10. My God. So he was up for like 20 charges. One of the things they could agree on was whether or not it was RICO. So anyway, he's looking at many years in jail. So some of the stuff he did was accepted bribes in the form of no-show jobs for his political allies. in exchange for strengthening his own political power, sought a state board position for former alderman turned government mole Danny Solis, in exchange for his promise to steer developers to Madigan's private real estate law firm. Yeah, kind of corrupt. Just a little bit corrupt. But Rob Blagojevich did nothing near as bad as this character's son. And he was the governor. And they let him rot. What's Blagojevich going to come up with? I'm sure he's got dirt. But if it was real bad dirt, he wouldn't have lived through his ordeal. So, oh my God. ABC News put up this terrible story. Terrible. You know, when you think about that woman that got fired, right? She gave $59 million from FEMA to a Pakistani-owned motel. I guess you all heard about it, the Roosevelt Motel. Elon brought it up during the White House press conference. And she got fired, and they clawed the money back. So they're getting double the room rate from the federal government. Just, there's kickbacks, payoff, bribes, everything else going on there. $59 million. Meanwhile, ABC News reports this story. Authorities believe that 2 children who were living with their family out of a van died from hypothermia after spending the night in a Detroit casino parking garage amid frigid temperatures. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, they were in a casino parking garage and froze to death. Their parents were in there gambling. I'm looking for where's my rope stash? But I keep reading. The children, ages 9 and 2, were found frozen to death on Monday. The temperature in the garage was below 32 degrees, according to authorities. There were 2 adults and 5 children total between the ages of 2 and 13 in the vehicle, police said. The family is believed to have been living out of their vehicle for 2 to 3 months and parking at various casinos in Detroit. The whole family was in the van. It reminds me of the book Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt, who I do not have a very good opinion of. But anyway, I'll get into that some other time. But many of you may have heard of the book Angela's Ashes, where the place they were living in was so damp and filthy, and father was a drunk, mother didn't have a lot going for her, and one of the little boys woke up and his brother had passed away beside him. They were all in bed together, the whole family, on a chilly, cold, rainy night. And FEMA's sending out $59 million for people that don't even belong in this. I don't know the people in the van. I don't know what their nationality was. I don't know. But I am willing to believe that if they were of the no speaky, okay, me hungry type, they'd have been fine. They'd have had somewhere to go. They wouldn't have been spending a month riding around looking for a warm place to sleep in the van. And 2 children died as the cause of that in a major city. So keep that story in mind. Maybe we'll hear something about it. Secretary of State Kristi Noem said, I have clawed back the full payment that FEMA deep state activists unilaterally gave to New York City migrant hotels. FEMA was funding the Roosevelt Hotel that serves Trenton, Nicaragua bases of operations and was used to house Laken Riley's KILLER. I didn't know that. That's where that creep was living. Mark my words, there will not be a single penny spent that goes against the interests and safety of the American people. What a horror for those two children to freeze to death in a major city. We saw an angel mom at Pam Bondi's press conference. She talked about another savage that ended her daughter's life right when she turned 3 days after she turned 20. Another subsidized criminal gang member that they knew was a gang member. Turns out he confessed after he was arrested for ending her daughter's life. He confessed to 4 other murders and rapes. When's that class action lawsuit going to pop up? So, at what point, like this Kathy Hochul and Letitia James, that Pam Bondi is charging, I don't know, with neglect, I guess, or malfeasance, I don't know. When are they going to face a class action lawsuit? Turns out that 59 million that they sent, actually FEMA had budgeted just for New York City. Guess how much FEMA had budgeted just for New York City? $80 million. Not just 59 million. 80 million. That's all been canceled. But they're taking it to court. I think this is a matter of getting these judges identified and removed. Judges blocked Trump's agenda. That was on Fox News. And they have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably more than that. Different actions that are being taken to hamper Trump. So hopefully they have a mechanism in there, because this Lawfare, whoa, almost knocked my setup over. This Lawfare has been financed by these same groups and by the NGOs, kickbacks and stuff like that. That money's going to dry up. Somebody's going to have to pay for these attorneys. And when the tables get turned, not in the spirit of Lawfare, but the spirit of the black letter of the law, tort law, 11.4, tort law. laws of the United States. No, 11.3, sorry. 11.4 is treaties. 11.3 is laws of the United States, tort law. These people are not going to have paid for attorneys in their back pockets. Once these spigots get cut off, they got to row their own damn boat, just like the J- and then 6 people, just like Trump had to row his own damn boat, just like Rudy Giuliani, they tried to make a pauper out of him, just like Mike Flynn had to sell his house, and on and on and on. What they did to us. You reap what you sow. You can only reap what you sow. So it's coming. What are they going to do about their old BS story about Trump and Putin? Yeah, Peter Navarro, 2 television shows. How you doing? Gary, ha ha. Oh, yeah, the Clintons. What did they come up with? I heard, what's her name? Malaya Obama? Is that her name? One of them got $2 million from U.S. AIDS. Okay? The what would she be called? Not a stepchild, adopted child. They're from Somalia, right? What is this Somalia connection going on? That's what I heard. I heard they were out of Somalia. But anyway, what the hell is she doing with $2 million? Malia, or something like that? Wasn't she supposedly in a laptop video with Hunter? Roger Stone, not just Navarro, but Roger Stone. Don't forget, Amy Berman Jackson was the one who was headhunting Roger Stone. She's the one that came out with a court order for Trump to restore this character. I got his name, I forget it. He was an inspector general that wasn't worth a rat's, ass. And Trump fired him. And Amy Berman Jackson ordered him to be allowed back in the building. And I believe he had like 12 hours. And like Trump was saying, to go in there and cover their damn tracks. But he didn't seem upset about it. He didn't have that trademark look of disdain or anger. I believe that whatever that idiot had put in a computer, they've already got. And let him go in there. Probably got microfilament cameras installed and everything else. See what he deletes, because they probably got all his records. And just say, hey, the records we have, which are all open to FOIA requests anyway, compared to the ones you have produced, why did you remove this email? Why did you remove that email? When the birds sing. Panic. So anyway, he's going to get his ass thrown out. I think he's already been ordered out. But like Trump said, we follow the court rulings. That doesn't mean they're not tracking every little damn bit of it. That doesn't mean that these judges, all of them, are going to be under review. Because people were saying, well, and I mentioned it. Doesn't mean it's got to go this way, though. But I did mention they have lifetime appointments it's in the Constitution upon their good behavior. So people say, oh, well, impeach them. Okay, well, it doesn't say incompetence. They can plead incompetence. That's not a high crime or misdemeanor. Well, they're good behavior. We only need a simple majority. No, don't go down that road, because the next time they get the majority, they'll be kicking out every judge you shake a stick at. Look at how they make up and lie and make up crimes like they did against Trump for years. They could do the bad behavior with the same vote totals required for impeachment. You can impeach based on bad behavior. For judges, those words were put in for a reason. Good behavior. Doesn't say that for other constitutional officers, the president, or anything else. It says it for judges. So do it with the same 2/3 of the Senate, a majority of the House. You can impeach them based upon their bad behavior or their lack of good behavior, however the hell they want to word it. But you know when the good time to do that is? 24 months from now. Not even that long. Not even that long. 21 months from now? Midterm elections? We get that Senate with a 60, 65, 70 seat majority. And we have a documented record of judges putting out ridiculous orders. We've got the records of Kaplan, Merchan, and Goron. Amy, what's her face? I just said. Not Comey Barrett. Amy Jackson, whatever the hell her name is. And throw them all out. It's not that far away, folks. Midterm elections. We got 83% approval. One of the news services, I can't remember, what I call the usual suspects. That comes from the movie Casablanca. Round up the usual suspects. They said that Elon's approval rating is falling after his White House interview, saying that the kid was too disruptive. They're full of it. They haven't had time to take a poll. The kid was being a kid. The kid was cute. There hadn't been a kid that age in the Oval Office that the media has seen since JFK Jr. They isolate one picture where the kid's got a finger in his nose. He's 5 years old. That's where they put their fingers. So anyway, he was a cute kid. He behaved all right, and he wouldn't be there if Trump didn't want him there. Lawrence O'Donnell, he was on MSNBC. I watched him. He's the one I call Lord Haw Haw. And if you ever get a chance, many of you probably already did, Lord Haw, Haw. Look what happened to him. That's what I'm predicting with Lawrence O'Donnell. He's the next Lord Haw Haw. But anyway, he was saying, you don't go into the office of the president dressed that way. Saying something wrong with Elon's dress. He had a pair of dark jeans on and a black coat. Looked fine to me. You don't bring a child in with the president of the United States. How about we do a montage of what you call Trump in front of the world, night after night? How dare you? Saying how Elon should act in front of Trump with everything that you've accused him of and said about him. You aren't worth the effort to put out a good spit. Anyway, boy, that just burned my rear end. No goggling. I got a question. See if anybody can get it within 30 seconds. Malia, I can't pronounce it. Yeah, they formally adopted. That's why they pushed for that law for gay people to be able to adopt children. Which might be one of the reasons I got a complaint against me, which ain't doesn't amount to a pinch of owl crap except costs money on Buy Me a Coffee, because I said that shouldn't be allowed. Every time somebody accuses you of something, they got to check it out, and it costs money. Part of your agreement. But anyway, the question is, I'm going to start the clock right now. How much does the Department of Education get a year? Starting now. I'm going to go 30 seconds. Well, I might go longer because there's a delay with you, Tizzle. By the time I say it and then by the time you all hear it. Hi, Jet Lag. How you doing? That's right, Pappy. What you do for the least of my brothers, you do for me. Yeah, I heard that too, Angel. At the head of the Obama Foundation looked like Roland said 1.2 trillion. That's a little high. The yearly, what they get per year. Wanda said 100 million. Sissy said 2 million for the whole Department of Education for the year, for the entire year. No goggling. So I'm going to start these music. We'll see who gets it. This is like The Price is Right. You can't go over. And whoever's closest under wins. So how much does the Department of Education get per year? Dun 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 boom boom. All your guesses in? You guys are not going to believe this. Roland said 800 million. I think I'm out of the studio looking the numbers up so I don't get it wrong, because I goggled it and I got to see it with my own peepers. There we go. 2024. We got 4 billion, 45 billion guesses. Whoops. Miss Mindersu said 4 billion. Sissy said 400,000. Television show said 45 billion. Mary said 800 million. All bets are off. No more numbers. Lewis said 300 million. Hi, Lewis. Hang on to your hats. 2020. Here are some recent budgets. 2024. 238 billion. That's with a B. $238 billion. 2024. 2025 had the same budgets. Almost $250 billion. $248 billion. How much was it in 2023? All just for snoots and giggles. What was it in 2023? You can't go over, Roland. You went over. It's $238 billion. What was it in 2023? Just for snoots and giggles. Television show said $250 billion. Wanda said slush fund. Television show said con job. Miss Minister said billion. Grr. Ha 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 ha. So 2023. How much you think they got? And you can bet your AZZ that they spend every damn dime of it. So put your bets in. Dun, 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 boom, boom. Ha 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 ha. All right, here comes the answer. 2023 was $274 billion. $274 billion. And the reason I think it went down to $238 billion was they're probably shoveling money to you, Crizzle, which included funding for pandemic recovery, early childhood education, and more. 270. So we're over $500 billion in 2 years. Over $500 billion. But wait, there's more. How much do you think it was in 2022? This is the last one I'm going to do because I want to tell you all something. How much do you think it was in 2022? Angel says, how many school-age children are there? How much is that per child? Well, you know what? Think about it. I think it's like $17,000 a child. What if you said, remember me talking about my mom? She taught me my colors. She taught me my numbers. I went to kindergarten and I knew more than just about any other nose picker there. I was the smartest glue-eating, nose-picking kid in the class. Imagine if you said, we're going to give a certain amount to parents if they homeschool. Of course, it can't be that much. Say, average of $8,000 to $10,000 a kid. If you school your child at home. With one caveat. The parent needs to pass an SAT. Standard aptitude test, which I said the other day, I doubt current teachers can't even pass a standard aptitude test. SAT score. Above a certain amount, you're qualified to teach your child at home, and you have to show proof that you've been given lessons, and the parents get the money direct. Sissy said 320 billion. Miss Mindersu said 300 billion. This is 2022. So let's see. Anybody got any more guesses? Da 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 dun 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 boom boom. Okay, you guys ain't gonna believe this. 37.7 billion. What? Roland said 265 billion. Miss Minister said 500 billion. Hebrew Hammer said close to a trillion. It was only 37.5 billion. How? And the year before that, 2021, was 34.5 billion, which included a stimulus budget of 0.9 billion. 2020 was 34.5 billion. How did it go from 3 years in a row, a budget of mid 30 billion to $250 billion, literally overnight? Consistently for 3 years, 35 roughly billion. 2020, 2021, 2022. Then in 2023, it shot up to over $250 million. And then the following year, over $250 million. That was 23 and 24 budget. Gone. Now they're banging at the door for 2025. Can you say criminal activity? Can you say RICO? Maybe even the big T word, as in reason? Trump said it today. He said it yesterday. He said, we're going to the Department of Education next, and who knows what we'll find there. He said it's going to be even worse. People are freaking out over the $60 billion with U.S. AIDS. We're talking something about 5 times the size just in the Department of Education. And then what do we get into? The Pentagon. Back to one of my original notions, 47 and a half months roughly to change the world. Exposure, transparency, outrage is going to pave the way for retribution, arrests, house cleaning. We're going to have our big event. But as I always do, I look at it from the eyes of a person on the battlefield. What if I was responsible for changing civilization, changing the federal government, the biggest behemoth known to man, the biggest bureaucratic behemoth in world history that has currently been captured, and I'm not kidding you, by a bunch of godless wretches? Because they can say whatever the hell they want. But anybody that agrees with the abuses that have gone out to children, psychological abuse, this type of waste, fraud abuse, and nod their head and say it's a good thing, they're a godless wretch. So, how would I do it? I said 4 years ago, if I were the one who was to be historically responsible for the outcome of what is coming, I would not move with arrests, mass arrests, the military, or anything like that. I said that 4 years ago. That the people have to change, the people have to demand it, the people have to be informed, the people have to be awake, and the victory needs to belong to the people, and that we were in for a 4-year march, and we would go through the elections this year. I said that, and I'm going to, because the country would have been irreparably damaged, irreparably divided, and the world would have fell into chaos. We're too close to do anything knee-jerk. That is why Trump is being so level-headed. They have a path. I'm going to quit using the word plan. They're going down a path. They're driving down the field. No time to fumble. No time to throw an interception. No time to get sacked. You're more powerful. You're like a millstone grinding. There's no stopping it. But time is not our friend right now. After the midterms, Katie bar the door. 2 Novembers from now is when we're going to see heavy action. We're going to get the low-lying fruit. It's not even fruit. Road apples that are just obvious, rank and open criminality. We're going to get that. We're going to see more like this Speaker of the House that just went down. I saw where a doctor in Florida got pulled over and arrested for C and then P. Okay, you guys know what that means. Child and then prawn. There's arrests like that occurring all over the place. You're going to keep seeing by the thousands this criminal element being arrested and shipped out of the country. We're going to be seeing the power grow on our side, the people's side. We're going to see more and more people waking up. We're going to see more and more lives improve. We're going to see confidence go up. We're going to see a sense of safety go up. People who feel safe, confident. Trump is going to be putting some, I won't call stimulus. I refer to use the word payback or rebates to the people. You're going to see obligations that drug down productivity and innovation being removed from businesses, and you're going to see opportunities, higher wages, lower prices, tangible results of a sovereign wealth fund coming directly to people the same way as the stimulus checks. More and more outrages and criminality exposed. And there will be a time, a right time. It doesn't have to be the midterms, after the midterms. It all depends on how fast the awakening matures. The Great Awakening will hit a maturity point. A certain percentage, overwhelming, undeniable. And you're going to see More people like Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat, right? We're celebrating her confirmation. RFK was a Democrat. We're going to see more of that. So we'll get our day, and we're getting our day now. Just like when this judge upheld Trump's buyouts, that's perfectly within his authority to buy them out or fire them. Because I remember there was a thing called goes along with Schedule F, but it's a provision in the civil service rules that if people are laid off or the government's closed or there's something that prevents them from coming to work for more than, I believe, 90 days, that their tenure and their protections fall away anyway. Here they've taken and rode this COVID lightning bolt into the ground and are way past that. Way past that. So anyway, just another thing to keep in mind. Pay attention to who is going in your local government, your treasurer, your board of supervisors, your town council, your dog catcher, your parish person, your alderman, whatever you vote for. Don't take any fair weather patriots, sunshine patriots, or any demon rats that just say, oh, I'm just going to change my name and say I'm a Republican. No. Find out their history. What did I say? The word I used, and Trump used it later, about 6 months after I used it, their pedigree. Find out their pedigree. Make sure they got a good pedigree. And if you're in the community and you got a lot of friends, you're a level-headed person, get a seat on the school board. It's not a big deal. Get a seat on the council. Get a seat on the planning commission. That way you know what you're up against. You know who you're dealing with. You'll have even more of an inside deal. All politics is local. But anyway, folks, I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up. That helps the video get around. Are we going to find out why the Department of Education went from $35 million to $250 million in 23, and what happened to that money? I think we're going to find out. That might be the tripwire. Yeah, follow the wives. Yeah, Debbie. Well, we already have the country as a whole. Yeah, the country, majority of the country's risen up to demand justice, and as a whole, we're getting much, much closer, much closer. And Trump being, letting a kid run around a little bit and be a kid, and Trump dealing with the press in a more like a Dutch uncle than an angry man. He is buying him a lot of goodwill. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And if you remember to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like the video, I appreciate it. And again, I have a link for Buy Me a Coffee in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out. I'm not supported by Utizzle or totally viewer supported. So I appreciate anyone that wants to help the channel out. So, and I appreciate everybody that has gone buy me a coffee. So, that being said, you all have a wonderful night. I'll be going live tomorrow night if everything goes okay. And I will see you then. Till then, this is Mountain Man, over and out.